Let's come to the next chapter, that is chapter 7, right? Chapter 7 talks about your relationship with your children and money, right? How do you teach children money, and what all do you teach them? How much do you think they will learn on their own, and how if your children think money comes from the ATM, somebody has to teach them that money has to go into the ATM. Then that happens because you and your spouse are working hard to make sure that there is somebody putting money into the ATM, so that every time you put a card, you hear a whirring sound and the sheer satisfaction that some money is going to, the machine is going to throw out some money. So teach them that, teach them the value of money. And if you do not teach them, who's going to teach them? Do you expect the education system that we have to teach them about money? Then you're mistaken, and you don't understand the education system, nor do you understand money, right? So from the age of 0, children know that there is something called money. Not that they understand till the age of 2 or 3. They don't understand what money does, etc. So they see money, they see coins lying around, they can pick up a coin. You can, at that stage, when you're sure that they will not put it in their mouth and test the metal, you can start giving them shiny coins, bigger coins, smaller coins, ask them to identify similar coins, right? You can play a game with a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old about, that is how you start introducing them to money. And then they start coming with you to the shop. Take them to the shop, make them pay the amount of money. If you're buying bread and bread costs say 40 rupees, ask them to pay the 40 rupees or 30 rupees, whatever the bread is costing. If you're buying milk, if you're buying vegetables, take them along, show them how money is exchanged for goods. They may not understand unless you show them examples. Like, for example, I remember my daughter saying, "Dad, I want some money, I want to buy a gift for my mom." So I said, "You got money in your piggy bank, why don't you take it from that?" And she said, "You don't know, coins don't buy anything, only notes buy," right? So she didn't know that coins were money, right? Because whenever she came out with me, I never gave coins, I only gave notes. So she said coins don't buy money, buy things, which is so true, right? So by the time they're in 4th standard, 5th standard, they know the price of bread, they know the price of a car, they know the price of a house, and they know what is in lakhs, what is in crores. They can put together, they can add, you can then send them to the shop and ask them to buy 2-3 items. I know my daughter used to do a lot of working with a 100 rupee note. How much will she spend? What will be the total? How much should the money be coming back? She would do the working at home and then go and buy things. So not that the shopkeeper would cheat, but she wanted to be sure about what she's doing, right? Now, then end of school to completion of college, you need to teach them that value of money, saying by the time you can have discussion on who should pay for the higher education, whether she should take a loan, whether it is not necessary to take a loan, right? All those things can come. Then beginning of earning life, you can either expect them to pay some portion of the household expenses, or at least look after the administration of the household in terms of paying the bills and paying the electricity bill, telephone bill, society charges, etc., and making sure that they know the processes which are involved, even if not the money. Slowly then you can tell them what is your insurance, how much is your mutual fund, how much is your other investments, how have you made your will. These are things that they understand by the time they're 14, 15, and all this is necessary. Also tell them why, in spite of the fact that all your investments are held as either or survivor, you still have them, your children, as the nominee. Because if something were to happen to both you and your wife simultaneously or within a gap of 4 or 5 days, then that whole property will go in to be in intestate, right? Then with that you have a will, that you have, where have you kept a copy of the will, that the society will transfer the house to you, right? Teaching them all these things is pretty useful, and it is also necessary to be responsible towards teaching them all that. And then when you handle money, remember that it was your parents' view as how it is to be held, and start the process young, so that when they come with their own money, they will know how to, where to look for, what to look for, how to invest, right? So what is the logic? Why did you buy an equity fund? Why did you buy a debt fund? Then keep the spending buckets different. Tell them that these are for necessaries, these are for luxuries, these are for wants, right? Make budgets, make variable payments, monthly groceries, etc. Make the save just to spend. Savings can be two, three things. Saving just to spend. You put together money in a recurring deposit, so the end of the year you have enough money to pay, say, a medical insurance premium. That is saving just to spend. And that is just saving, because that is the money which you will keep only in the savings bank account, because the RD of say 800 rupees per month will become 10,000 rupees at the end of the year, which you will use to pay the insurance premium, right? So that kind of saving, or the investing for the longer term. Again, what is investing? Investing is also putting money away in a place where it will grow beyond inflation, so that it can be used at a later stage of your life. You're maybe now 40, but when you need money at 80 or 90, you don't save it, you invest it, right? So those are the long-term goals. So children's education was a long-term goal when the kids were young, and now it is a short-term goal because the kid is already 18 or 19, and in a year or two you have to withdraw. So tell them where the money is lying, how much is it, how useful is it for them to know all these things, right? So two things. One is having money for all their goals, and second, teaching them about what that money can do and why it is lying in the place where it is lying. Like why your liquid fund has got so much money, or why your savings bank account has got so much money, and how is that to be withdrawn. All these things are issues which you can sit with your children, learn and teach. Thank you.